Dude,
There is no intro.
Yeah, I was watching the one where where Nick was talking about him like getting high as fuck and talking to his buddy about getting like just sitting on the couch and just talking about a dude like in a saw trap and then like afterwards they were like, yeah, what if he was in prison, just got violently raped every day, and it would be like literally he can't sit or like walk, he has to constantly crawl on his knees and be naked, and then they like take a tattoo needle and fucking like write different sayings to each other on it. I was
there's gaps
laughing
in between Come Town where they're like, you can tell that they're kind of like phoning it in to make the whole episode like go by faster, but there are snippets where they say something that's so like that robot cop Batman thing was probably one of the funniest things I've ever, where he's pretending to be Batman. He's like, you can either
No, I'm saying bring it closer to you, idiot.
I felt like I was talking too loud and that this would be too close.
No,
Is this
good.
fine?
Yeah,
you hear it?
Fine.
All right, cool.
When it turns yellow or red, that's when
If you pay me more, I'll deep throat the mic. So just let me know. Don't do this. Don't put my back in the corner and make me do it. I was really hoping y'all would just be like, don't do it.
Anyway,
Put it in your mouth. No, Come Town is pretty funny though. That RoboCop Batman one though does get me like literally every time to where I'm dying, bro.
The part where he's talking about there being about him having like a bigger cock, and he's like, "This is fucking awesome."
This is fun. He's like, "You had the files that my cock was regular size. Delete the files. Delete the files." Oh my god, the Batman part or the Joker part gets me though. He's like,
now you're gay.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy my ass, Batman, because now you're gay. That's just funny.
Yeah, that part. God, just like Trevon, you need to listen to.
Well, I feel like we'll just send him snippets that are funny, so he doesn't have to,
literally
have the time to sit through 2 hours just to get like one good joke out of it.
Yeah. Well, there are some good moments, but I've been like listening to it.
Honestly,
on my, like while I'm at work, like.
Oh yeah, just something to have on. It works really well. Yeah. I've been doing like sometimes the YouTube, like I know which snippets I want to hear that is funny, so I'll look for them. They had an 11-hour one where it's literally just the main dude talking about the pedophiles in Hollywood. And I was really sitting here. I was like, I can't get through all this. It's too much.
That's why
that man knows a lot.
I'm like, why would someone listen for 11 hours?
Just about like how crooked like the government.
Yeah, and like
it gets a lot though. But I was sitting through some of it because I was like, I bet he says some really funny shit.
There's something good.
Yeah, literally it being like, oh yeah, now we're gonna listen for fucking 11 hours and just fucking have all these people do fucked up shit for 11 hours.
The part that did crack me up though is that what did he say? Oh, he was talking about the fact that they were gonna come for him and kill him, and he's like, please do it. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like if I get put down. And then they're like, no, they know that's what you want. That's why they're gonna let you live.
They're like, we've got you, fucker.
Every time he talks about Hillary like raping and killing babies, that's the part that cracks me up though. They're talking about like Bill Clinton. Like he's like, so she like they're doing like a bit like Hillary knows that Bill Clinton like fucks kids, but she wasn't okay with him fucking like a grown adult, like when he cheated on her during like his like presidential run. So she's like, he's like, I fucked up, Hill, and she's like, I can't believe you. That's how they do her voice. I can't believe you cheat on me with a grown woman. And then she's like, I messed up, Hill. He's like, it's okay. We're gonna go to the island and kill rape a baby. And then she's like, oh, Bill, you always know how to get me back. I was fucking dying, bro.
Jesus Christ. Dude, Trevon, I'm telling you, you need to watch it just for the fact that there's so many like good bits, and you don't even have to like listen to the whole like hour and a half episode sometimes, because I watched one where literally I don't think they cracked a joke like the entire time.
Yeah. It's like it's something nice if you don't want music playing, but you kind of just want something else. Because, sometimes you'd be out of the mood, you want something playing, but you don't want, like, music to be playing. You want to, like, listen to some people talk about something. So it's kind of... And plus, it's like you hear jokes that you're not going to hear on fucking TV. And then they get away with it. That's the best part. Because I'm like... jokes not being okay is for the fucking birds, bro. That shit makes me mad as hell. I get pissed when I'm just like, people are like, that's offensive. I'm like, no, fuck that. I want to hear an offensive joke. It's hilarious. But that shit's pretty good. And now this leads into what me and Trevon wanted to talk about. Serial killers. No, we were talking about serial killers on our way here.
Yeah, did you watch the John Wayne Gacy documentary series they have going on?
He was talking about John Wayne Gacy.
I didn't watch that at all. I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like I saw it past the listening, but I was telling Matt the other day when I was at work, or last time I was at work rather. I was just sitting there reading character profile or criminal profiles, of like serial killers, you know. And some of the stuff that you got from interviews from John Wayne Gacy and, you know, him with the interrogators, just wild shit. Just really wild shit with like stuffing people under baseboards and just the constant murders and rape and the aggression towards like his male coworkers and stuff was pretty scary.
Because I knew of John Wayne Gacy, but I really didn't know like anything about it. Like obviously he's like a famous serial killer. I knew about the clown thing, but you know, I didn't realize like how like charismatic he was and like how he would like talk to all these people and then he would dress up as a cop.
I can't even like wrap my brain around sitting in a room with a guy like that and not getting violent. Like it's just
like listening to him talk about it?
Talking about that shit.
How smug they get too.
Yeah,
which I
and
think is
like,
the
and
part
you
that
can't
gets
do
me.
anything about it, bro, because they're just sitting there smiling and shit, and then you just have to be like, if I kill this fucking dude or beat him up, I'm in trouble. Like I'm gonna be in his seat.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You guys, I'm gonna send y'all a video in the group chat later, but it's, you ever heard of Wendy Goon? He does like the iceberg videos. He does one for serial killers, and like obviously the very top is like the common, and then all the way down the bottom. Some of the stuff I've heard, like, it's interesting hearing. Well, the part that isn't interesting to me that pisses me off is how many times they could have got caught, and it was just people being stupid. They get away with it. But the part that's interesting too is there's like moments where like it all boils down to like one dude got caught because of a mismailed letter. Like at the post office. And I was just sitting here like, bro, could you imagine something that small?
Yeah.
Literally bringing in someone that's killed like 200 people.
There was another one where I actually can't remember the serial killer's name. He was a high profile case though, and there was a situation where he went to go kill someone and brought him inside their house, and he planned on dismembering them in his master bedroom or whatever. But the person was smart and just managed to keep him talking for a little bit so they can get a chance to escape, you know? And it just so happened that right when he was busy in the kitchen, the guy got up and started booking it through the door. He gets outside and it just so happens to be a cop there. And so he's like, you guys need to come out and look at this.
How many times have people ran into cops and been like, this is happening? They're like, just
the
go
cop's
home,
like,
you weirdo.
Stop,
you're a
leave me
prostitute.
alone.
No,
You're a prostitute.
Are you on drugs?
Yeah.
I'm going to arrest you. But no, it just... You know, good fortune like that definitely comes one in a million.
Could you imagine seeing James in a situation where a serial killer's trying to do him in and him trying to get out of it? That would be pretty fucking funny. If we ever do a bit series, James is going to be doing that bit. That would be so fucking funny. Hey guys, could you not cut my fucking legs off?
Guys, I don't appreciate.
I mean, just a little bit
doing
off the left one is okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get my pinky toe.
God damn, dude. No, but yeah, that John Wayne Gacy documentary series, I won't stay too long on it, but there's just so much that, you know, they were trying to get him on, and they literally were following him, and he would take it right to it. Yeah, well, he would basically like he knew that they were following him like the first day, and so then he would be like, oh yeah, you know, drive with me, and he would like sit down, have lunch with them, like he would go and do all this, and like he didn't think he could be caught.
Yeah.
And
the thing that blows my mind though is change that situation to where it's a dude that is innocent and has nothing to hide. They wouldn't even do something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they would be weirded out by that.
Completely nervous.
But because he's so disconnected from like worrying about what people like think or how it looks, and he knows
a lot of the time it's
a power move.
They believe it's a power move.
Yeah,
you know, they believe that they're smarter than whoever it is that they're engaging with. And I think in John Wayne Gacy's place, he was assuming that if he befriended the officers, if he took them out to lunch like we were just talking about, or he was very open and honest and so on and so forth, that he'd get a chance to not spend his life in jail. Yeah. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen at all.
This shit's crazy, man.
And the fact that he moved away from that house the first time and then moved back to it and then moved away again, I think, or something along those lines, and just kept adding people to that home.
I would pay a hefty amount of money to Batman beat down one of those dudes, like at the end of the movie, where he's wailing on that motherfucker for like 40 minutes, and they're finally like, Batman, come on! His face looks like chewed bubble gum. Get off of him. That would be me, son. I'd be like,
dude, honestly, I was never big into like researching the serial killers. Like,
I've always thought it was so like, how you see like, not saying all women do this, obviously, got to state that before I get canceled, but like women watch serial killer based.
We already talked about Hillary Clinton.
Oh fuck yeah!
You said that already.
Yeah, but it is. But the case, they did release the case files about her murder fucking a baby, so we're good. CIA did. Look it up.
I'll take your word for that. I don't want to. I don't want to be the one to type murder rate babies.
Clinton murder fuck baby.
But it's like I can't see like we like horror shit. Me and you. I don't know. Like you don't talk about too much, but we like horror shit. But I like it, and it doesn't bother me because I know it's fake. Like But when you're watching someone like break down like how a murder took place and all this shit, and they talk to the people that were involved. I don't want to see that.
Definitely
shit, bro.
brings in the sense of realism.
Yeah, and it's sick,
it makes
bro.
it worse.
That's not entertainment to me. That's like a real thing that happened.
It's just a different.
That's a fucking real person's life,
for
bro.
sure.
And that's not entertainment. I just can't watch that kind of shit.
Well, I think it is interesting in a seeing how fucked up the mind is, but when it gets into like them obsessing, being like, oh my god, Ted Bundy's so hot. I'm like,
oh my fucking god,
bro. You are actual psychopath.
Listen. He raped and killed like 30 plus more people, and you're still sitting outside being like, oh, these guys. I'm not saying I believe what he said. I'm just saying the connection. I see why he made the connection.
I would say
it is weird.
I would say it also depends on time. I feel like a lot of if you watch like something in real time, you're not going to be like, oh my god.
No. But that was happening in real time with the Ted Bundy thing.
Like
what I'm talking about right now is what was happening at that time. They were all like, let him free. He's so hot, this and that. Bro, he was in like holding, and he still had like relationships with a bunch of women that whole time.
That part is true.
So that's real. That wasn't me just making this shit. Like talking about nowadays. It's still happening.
Like I'm saying nowadays.
But it was still happening back then. Bro, Marilyn Manson got married in like 2000 something when he was about to die. He's like an old ass man. He married
Charles Manson.
Yeah, Charles Manson, my bad. I don't know who I said.
Oh, that's another thing. Did you guys hear about the fucked up shit with Marilyn Manson?
Apparently he did coke.
Kind of makes me sad. I really looked up to him, and that was pretty.
What happened?
Well, it's just like I think it was just like lots of abuse allegations and like really shitty, like terrible things, but mostly along the lines of.
There was a documentary that me and Jordan started watching. It's called Phoenix Rising, and it's like one of those, I'm so much powerful than I used to be, and all that. But like the first part of it
is people
is
can't be powerful, huh?
No, not if you're a woman.
God damn it.
Trevon's like, I'm not doing the podcast anymore. No, but
he's like, blank my name out. Blank my name out. Yeah. We have to do a voice change over.
Hey, this is Matt. This is Logan. This
is hey guys, what's going on?
Hey. So no, but she was an actress that they first showed like her life growing up and stuff, and like how her family would fight, and so. Then she became an actress at like I think 13 or 14, and kept doing roles. And then she met Marilyn Manson at this house party, and he's like,
because he's obviously looks like the guy you want to walk up to at a party.
Well, so he's like 34 at this time, and she's like 18.
Yeah, but around what album did this happen?
I don't think Marilyn Manson has ever looked any different.
That's fair.
Well, he does. He totally does now. He totally does now.
But I mean, like, if I saw Marilyn Manson at a party, like, I probably wouldn't walk up to him.
Well,
because he looks like a fucking like. He doesn't have eyebrows, and I'm just like, I don't know what he's about, and I'm just gonna,
Well, so
seems like a nice guy.
She was with her friend, and they were on like the balcony or something like that, and he comes up and like makes small talk, and then you know, she didn't really pay too much attention to it. She's like, oh, that's Marilyn Manson, that's cool. And like, you know, they still were going about the party, and then he came up to her afterwards, like a little bit later, and then struck up a conversation. Then they started dating, and he literally like branded her. Like once they actually started dating, like getting into it, like he branded her. Like he would.
Was this stuff that she was into, or she was just kind of like,
no,
okay?
So it was one of those. It's like, you know, oh,
I'm into this.
You don't want to do this.
Yeah, I'm into this.
Wait a minute.
I'm trying to
minute.
Let's see.
Hold on. You're gaslighting me because I want to brand your ass. So just don't do that.
Yeah, like super like toxic abusive shit. And then he was like, oh,
hey,
you know,
who would have thought Marilyn Manson would be the one? That's weird.
Dude, I know.
Wait a minute. I'm being sarcastic. Are you being serious?
Yeah, look at him. He's fucked up looking.
Yeah, no, we agree then. It sounded like you were saying that he wasn't.
Oh,
like,
I
sarcastic.
personally, I don't necessarily like attribute his looks to how he acted.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
like, because there's
yeah.
plenty of people, like, it's definitely like it's a stylistic choice to be gothic or to dress the way you do.
Oh, I'm not
Marilyn
shaming
Manson,
a man on his
well, I was
drip.
going to say, when I was, like, hearing all this stuff, I'm like, this seems really bad for everyone who dresses like that. Because now that's the instant connotation that someone's going to get, you know, based
that
on
whole... You've probably heard the saying, perception is reality, like, constantly. Or
Yeah.
And in some ways... I feel like that's okay, but other ways, like, I just hate that fucking phrase so much.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I first met Blank, you met Blank.
Mm-hmm.
When I first met Blank in the military, he got me, like, he got the platoon fucked up so many times, and I was just like, fuck this dude, bro. Like, he's getting me in trouble all this time. He didn't come back for 3 hours. We're standing outside. But once I got to know him, I'm like, oh, this is a good fucking dude. And then once I got to know more about his personal situations, background, life, and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, like, he's been through a lot of shit.
That makes sense to me.
And then after that moment, I was like, perception is reality can suck my dick. Like, I'm not judging anyone on the outside just from that situation alone. Like, think if I never talked to Blank and, like, you see how close him and me are.
Yeah, that's true.
It would have changed. It would have literally changed my whole life, like how it played out if I never was friends with him. So it's just like that perception is reality, I think, can suck my dick. But on a real note, though, if I did see Marilyn Manson at a party, I probably still wouldn't walk up and talk to him. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, it's better safe than sorry. Motherfucker comes in.
All of that. Yeah, he's still fucking.
If a dude comes in wearing a leather choker with spikes on it.
Hey, man, platform boots are pretty cool. I want a pair.
You go get some, and you wear them. I know you, and I know you ain't going to do some weird shit.
You don't know that, Matt?
You didn't know him, and he was fucking wearing it.
Yeah, dude. If I had
then
some like super tall platform
I would
boots with
probably
spikes,
be talking to a different
piercings.
group, but I'd be over listening and being like, "Is this guy check out?" Like,
No, he's
Trayvon's over there. He's like, "I can't wait to take these boots off and put them on my head," saying some weird shit. I'm like, I'm gonna stay over here. No. So that was it about the Marilyn Manson thing. He was just doing that kind of shit.
There's like a whole thing to it.
There was actually a ton of stuff that was coming out about Marilyn Manson, but I necessarily haven't looked into it too deep. I was about the time where I was like reading the first bit, and I was like, all right, no more Marilyn Manson. I'm out of that.
Bro, once you start digging in too deep on some things, you're just like, I wish I didn't dig.
Yeah, honestly,
like, no, this is what I thought was interesting about that whole 11-hour fucking thing I was listening to, is that, who's the dude that runs it? I always forget his name.
Nick Mullen.
Nick Mullen, he talks about it. He says, like, he goes, at some point you just have to stop looking into this whole pedophile thing because it runs so deep, and and that's just how I feel like about politics or anything. If you dig so deep and if you center this shit around your life, it is going to make you a miserable fucking person. You're not going to be happy. And then he was even talking about, he's like, if we dug so deep, like, overall culturally, it would, if these people came to light and like got in trouble, which I want them to, obviously, because it's fucked up. Like, honestly, more than just get in trouble, we should put a bullet in them. I don't care. I'm going to stand by that. But it's just that it runs so deep, and there's so many things that would have to change culturally over us. Because imagine, who's the dude that does, like, I think James Cameron's name came up a bunch of times. But think if he came out as a huge-ass pedophile and he got burnt to the cross about it. Think about all the stuff we got to fucking just be like, we can't do that no more. We can't watch this. We can't.
I kind of agree with that in a way, but you do always have to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
And
I'm not one of those people that I'm like, I'll never support the thing. Because I was talking, okay, this had me fucking laugh my ass off. Cody said something. I sent him stuff. I've been sending him shit about, you know.
You're trying to set him up.
No, don't bring it up. Don't bring it up because
okay.
it's funny to me, and I like it's my little.
If you're listening, Cody,
project.
that's not for you.
I'm gonna cut that part out.
But I sent him a thing about, I think it was, I don't remember what it was about. It was something about the John Depp got kicked off of. Remember we were talking about it because he's like, I'm not supporting Disney anymore, and you're like, that's not even a Disney project. What the fuck? And then I was sitting here like, Cody, you legally download all your movies. Support what? You haven't been putting money into it. Like, what do you mean?
Damn.
He was like, shh, don't tell people. They're coming after me. I'm like, Cody, the last thing the government's worried about is you legally downloading a movie. I promise.
I guess I should also retract or kind of like retouch on that statement because you should, let's say, like Matt just mentioned, like James Cameron comes out and is like, hey, I kind of diddled a bunch of kids, you know.
It was an entanglement.
I
was entangled with a couple of kids.
Who were all like 6 years old or under, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be purchasing any more James Cameron movies.
Oh.
Yeah,
but
I don't
all
even
the ones
fuck
that I
with
had
James Cameron
before,
like that
I
to
don't
begin
think I
with.
would get rid of because
I think
that was from a time before I realized that was a situation.
Yeah.
You know,
You
like
can-
I think it all
have
depends on
emotions with those.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how willing you are to overlook some things. Like, obviously, there are some things that it's like, wow, that's really fucked up. But I mean, like Led Zeppelin, like all the members did some really fucked up shit.
Listen, everyone, I don't care what anyone says. Every band from at least probably
60s
to this day.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna factor it out. But from like the 80s back, them motherfuckers didn't care what age those like women were. It had to be.
You see it a lot with like
because no one cared
punk.
back then.
Yeah, you see it a lot with like pop punk bands too,
Yeah.
and like the hardcore scene in general.
like brand new,
and-
like
and
with
it-
Jesse.
There is a ton of really shitty things that like that come out, and like I'm down for like I shouldn't say it like that. Cancel culture. I don't necessarily like, you know, but at the same time, like if what was it? Front Porch Step. I don't know if you guys know who that was, but there's a guy named James McIntyre. I don't remember his name.
Not
He's
James
a fucking
Cameron.
loser. He's a fucking loser, and he was like sexually abusing all these 16-year-old girls, and he's fucking 25 and so on and so forth, or roughly when this was happening, you know. And he was an up-and-coming artist and shit like that. One of the girls was like, no, I don't want this to get off the floor. Like, this guy's a piece of shit. And she had all these receipts and like screenshots and messages and his nudes and shit like that he was sending her when she was underage. Nothing else came from him. You know what I'm saying? And like, I was fine with that because it's one of those things. It's like we want to stop it as early as possible.
Yeah.
I think that's how we should always take those sort
That's
of
the
things.
same situation, or not? I guess. Wait, were you saying that she was just sending him stuff and he wasn't replying?
No,
back,
no,
or
no.
He was asking.
He was doing all the initiation, you
Yeah.
know, and then kind of like groomed her
Well, then that's
into having a
different
relationship.
situation
Well, I was going to
than
say,
Drake and Josh. Which one was it that was
Drake.
involved?
Oh,
Drake.
Drake.
Yeah, which he's still wrong because he didn't say don't fucking do this or block or whatever. He just let it continue.
Yeah, he let it happen. That's all.
So I mean,
Easy.
it's real easy just to avoid the whole situation.
I think it's one of those things where, like I said, at some point you've got to like cut it off, but it's also like, as we just mentioned, like every band from like even now to the 60s, 50s, probably, you know, even further than that, it's everyone did that shit. And it's like, at some point, when is it okay to be like, oh no, I don't care, like I'm just gonna still listen to it?
Yeah, the thing is like, it's shitty that we live in a time where you can't expect other people to have the same kind of mindset to where they just respect other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks. It really does. But that's why I just don't even try to think about what they're doing. I just try to make sure what I'm doing is in the right fucking
that's
spot.
right.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
it's
do
just
my
like you
best
start
every day.
thinking about all these people doing shit, it's going to drive you fucking insane. If you're worried about every fucking band, that everything they did this, I just don't even look into it anymore. I don't care what they did. I don't care about those people. You know, like I have a select few
You don't
fucking
care about
like
the
people
victims,
I
or you don't
look
care
up
about
to.
the band members.
What's up?
You don't care about the people, like the victims, or you don't care
No,
about
the band members. The band
just kidding.
members.
I'm just
I know you.
Trayvon's like,
You almost got me. No,
one more time.
Like, I
What was
don't
that?
care about fucking band, like the band members, bro. Like I hear some shit, I'd be like, that's fucked up. But it's like at the same time, it's like you start worrying, you start picking into everything. It's the amount of people that it seems like they're doing the right thing is gravely outweighed by the amount that you hear doing bad shit. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like the dude that made all the good X-Men movies, he's been fucking kids, bro, for a long time. And you're just sitting here like, fuck, man, what do you do now? What?
Yeah.
The dude that helped you, the dude who literally made the first X-Men movie, which got the footing in like nerdy stuff coming, like pretty much pop, like becoming a thing where it's just like, it's normal. And he's fucking doing that, man. You're just like, fuck, what do you do with that kind of information?
No, I agree.
It fucking sucks.
And it's like, even the guy with Jeepers Creepers.
You could have seen that one coming from a mile of fucking way. I've been saying this. The second movie, bro, if you just think
where
about
he's
the
like
plot.
licking the window of the
kids
bus.
on a bus, trapped, and some dude wants to take their body parts. And then he's licking the glass and
Damn, I
shit.
didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a little weird.
Yeah, no.
And then, honestly, he needs to be shot for the third one he made and waste all of our fucking time making that dog shit movie.
Oh, I didn't even watch the third. Not even because I'm like,
came on
fuck
Netflix.
him. It's like, I knew it wasn't going to be
Yeah,
good.
it was on Netflix. I was like, I gotta see where they're gonna take
Yeah.
this. And I was like, oh, they did a
Like
prequel.
fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I had high hopes for that with that trailer, and they fucking
Yeah, I thought the
dog
trailer looked
shit,
cool
bro.
until the end where it was like, bro, you're canceled. I'm like, oh.
I didn't even really mind that. It was just that everyone that I thought was making the right decisions just ended up getting killed. And I
Yeah.
was like, the redneck dude who overall had like the situation pretty much grounded. Like, he's okay. I'm gonna go in here. I know he's in here. I got a gun. We're gonna handle this. And then somehow he loses his gun, fucking falls down, and gets his head smashed. And I'm like, God damn, bro. He was the only one actually gonna fight. Like, you're watching, you're like, he's the only dude capable of fighting.
It's always like that. The one guy who's super brave, super smart, knows what the fuck needs to go on, really
Dies
calm in a
instantly.
really shitty, terrible situation,
Except for Shepard.
gets fucked.
Oh boy. I start crying because I know how it happens in the third one.
Commander Shepard.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey,
God damn.
fucking goat.
I'm playing through. I think I'm gonna replay 2, and just go to 3
the 3.
afterwards. Because I was gonna go to 3, but 2 so
No,
damn
2 is by far the best one out of all of them. I think we can just like.
Yeah.
I think it's better than the third one by far.
Mass Effect 3 was good, but 2 was definitely the one.
And
Was
me
definitely-
even saying that doesn't mean the third one ain't good.
Oh, absolutely
it's
not.
a fucking
But
banger.
You go
but
from
that
Mass Effect
second
1,
man.
you go from Mass Effect 1 and you get through the end of it, you're like, okay, yeah, that was pretty
that was
pretty
okay.
good. I could definitely
Yeah.
eat some more.
For the
You played
time,
Mass
for the
Effect
time,
2.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Bro,
played Mass Effect
and
2
it's
though.
just firing at all
have-
cylinders.
You have an
bro.
8-course meal.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro,
you're just
hey,
eating the
hey,
whole time.
I was eating
the whole time.
I was eating.
Mass
I
Effect
told
3
him last week, and it's been like, I think it's been like a couple years since I've done this, or like maybe like 1 or 2. I don't know how long time it's been, but I haven't like on a weekend just not gone and
Sat
done
down.
anything and just
Yep.
sat down, like just go to the gym, come back, play a
Yep.
game, single player game with a story. Haven't done that in years. I did that for Mass Effect 2. Started it Thursday after school. Finished it Sunday night at 1 a.m, and I've never felt more satisfied in my whole life. I was like sitting here like, that was
when
magic.
you're like, oh yeah, I'm starting. I'm like, oh okay, cool. And then you're like, oh yeah, where do you get this? I'm like, oh I don't know. And then you're like, oh yeah, I'm almost done. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude.
Like, didn't you just start
Dude,
it?
I couldn't put it down. It
Yeah, I
took
get
over.
it.
I was watching Blade of the Immortal, and I was pretty deep in that fucking show. Completely dropped it to play that game as soon as I started it.
Dude, that's why like the first one, because I played the first one way back in the day. My stepbrother's friend gave it to me.
And it is a little rough. It hasn't
I'll
aged
get to it.
as
Yeah,
well.
and so I was playing it, and I like got
You
through
don't
the
mind
first
if I
mission.
put my feet up
No,
on
yeah,
this?
it's fine,
Okay.
it's whatever. And I was like, it's fine, it's whatever. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna skip to 2. And so I went to 2. I didn't give a fuck about any of the choices in 1.
Yeah.
I played 2, and I was like, this is my favorite game ever.
Yeah,
And to
it
this day,
really
it's still one of my
does.
favorite games of all time.
Honestly, and just playing it now, years after like it came out, still holds up.
Yeah.
Still fucking fun. Like I'm like that. I told like a couple of my buddies, I was like, that game is in my spot, and at least my top 20.
I've got to say, I've noticed that a lot recently too with a lot of the games I'm replaying. You know, like playing Onimusha again. I'm playing Dante's Inferno. I'm playing.
Dante's Inferno
Bro,
is
you watched
so
the
fun.
fucking animated movie?
I didn't actually.
It's so
Blows the
It's
game
good,
out
though,
of the
isn't it?
water.
I bet.
Blows the game. Every
bet it's good.
layer of hell he goes into is animated differently.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that alone, I
like
was
that a
just
lot.
sitting here like they're
Just
on
hearing
it.
that.
They're
Yeah, and like-
hey, they're in 2023 or some bullshit. Back
They're in
then.
the future. They're in the future. But just going back and playing all these old games again, I don't think it's a nostalgia trip. I think it's.
No, they
I
are
think
good.
there's definitely change in quality.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Oh,
whenever
don't even.
Far Cry 3 came out and everyone wanted to do the open world formula, is when it took that serious turn. I mean, like, there's some good open world games. Elden Ring, one of them.
Hey,
Fucking fantastic.
sponsor,
So good.
sponsor.
Thank you, FromSoft, ahead of time. You know, but there's so many open world adventure games where they give you the map and you go to this place and it's a fucking collectathon. You know what I'm saying? The story usually lacks, I feel like, because of the amount of stuff they have to put in the world for it to make sense. You know, and a lot of the time it doesn't.
And
work
overall, nowadays, like I've been saying this for like a couple months now, games just aren't as good. Like, you got to remember when we were young, bangers were just going back to back to back
Dynasty
to
Warriors
back,
3.
bro. Like bangers just every
I
fucking
never
year.
played Dynasty Warriors.
But when's the last time you picked up a game that was worth a fuck other than Red Dead 2, Elden Ring?
Hell
Because
yeah.
I don't play
It's
those
so
type of
good.
games, but
So
I
good,
bet
though.
it is good.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
Oh, Spider-Man.
like
Ghost of
4
Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima,
Ghost of Tsushima
and
was amazing.
Cyberpunk are literally
Cyberpunk-
the only ones.
Can we talk about Cyberpunk real quick?
Yes,
Because
we can spend hours on it if you want to.
No, I don't.
Hey,
spend more than 5
Trayvon,
minutes
I
on
played it with no updates on a deployment.
you are dedicated.
I was
understand.
going through some serious
understand.
problems playing that fucking game, son. And I was still sitting here like, this story fucks. I can't.
story in
Hey,
Cyberpunk is
Johnny
so good.
or Keanu Reeves is somehow animated upside down and all the way up in the air, but this is still dope.
This fucks every angle.
It's so
He
good.
just looks like a PS1 polygon
Bro.
figure. And you're
Just
like,
really
best
long.
game of all time.
Bro, just really long.
And the thing that really, this is my like takeaway from that whole game to begin with. Like, and I've said like, I think it might be one of the coolest. Like, you usually want to say, like you'd say, oh, the game's good or the story's good or this. That is like one of the coolest games I've ever played. And I think that's
I
like
can get that.
really
I
the
can get
only
that.
way you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
really explain it. Like for the most part, it's so cool, bro. Like everything in it, it's just so different than anything you've ever played. You got Keanu Reeves like somehow giving like one of the best performances he's ever given in a fucking video game, bro. You got the
Crazy.
soundtrack is going from it's just
It's
firing
so-
at all
the soundtrack
cylinders.
is
Like
so fucking good.
no aspect of that game
Man.
was shitty except for its drop date and how bad it was to play it.
I still think to this day
Everything
they
other
should have
than
released
that.
on like this previous console generation.
Yeah.
If it just released on
and it was
PlayStation
also,
5.
like, because people rushed it.
Yeah.
True. That is absolutely
'Cause
true.
they are not
Everyone
those
that
kinda
had an
guys.
issue with Cyberpunk when it released, it was your fault.
Yeah.
100% of the way, it was your fault that you had such terrible issues with the game. The devs weren't ready.
The only people
They
that
weren't ready.
don't get an excuse for doing that is literally everyone else other than Project Red. Because
Literally
they don't
everyone
give
else.
a fuck when they do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that is who released it.
No, I'm saying those are the guys that are exempted because they drop bangers and they drop games when they
Oh,
feel like
yeah,
dropping a
yeah.
fucking game. Everyone else doesn't give a fuck.
Like the
Really.
time period between Witcher 3 and Witcher 2, it was a long time. It was a long time. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was
Bro,
long.
they were working on Cyberpunk, I think, like the concept of it, while they were still making Witcher 3. I remember the
Cyberpunk was
very
de-
early
developed for, like,
fucking
16
trailer.
years or something.
You
They
remember the very
released a
early trailer?
trailer
Yeah,
back
it was
then?
like bullets getting shot at like a chick and they're like bouncing off her, like shrapneling off her skin.
Yep.
And she had the praying mantis arms. And then it said it'll come out whenever they're just like sometime. in the
This is what we want to do.
Whenever.
Yeah. Hey, whenever the fuck we feel like.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, we're in trouble. Drop it now.
No.
But I also think that Coben definitely played a big part.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
a lot of
that's
stuff,
absolutely
kinda.
fair to say
Yeah.
that the giant virus that we had across the globe,
Yeah, that
It's
somehow
also
was
shitty to-
released from a bat.
apparently.
Apparently, hey,
And
out of
blame it
all
on
these
Chinese,
years,
of
people been
course,
eating
right?
bats. Apparently, that was the golden
It's
ticket.
the
one.
fucking Chinese's fault, apparently. It's
yeah,
fucking
fuck
stupid.
No,
It's a kung flu virus.
Fuck.
I've actually never heard anyone say that.
I haven't either, but
I've never heard.
I think I'm pretty sure Logan just came up with that right now.
I think you did come up with that because I've heard
It's seeping
Chinese
out.
virus. I haven't heard of that.
It's seeping out, bro.
Yeah. This is what.
Or-
Yeah, the
Hey,
Lake
this is what you
County's coming
believe,
out.
huh? Yeah. He's like, I have a side podcast that's strictly Republican based. I'm like, fuck.
God damn. Could you? I remember a few years ago when you were like very hardcore Republican.
Yeah. Well, see,
I'm glad I didn't
it
talk to
wasn't
you
that I
then.
was hardcore.
You're-
No,
you didn't
hold on,
talk to anyone.
hold on. It wasn't that I was hardcore Republican. because I still feel like certain ways about it. I'm in the middle ground now. But
Okay,
I was
that's
just
good. I'll
so
take that.
against Hillary Clinton that I was just like, I don't care who the fuck.
No, motherfucker.
Uh-oh.
You were
What?
Here are the
hardcore
receipts.
on Trump's dick.
Well, yeah, I was, because if you watch it though, well, okay, this is what was my turning point that made me like him. Hold on. This digs into my distrust of the government. So think about this. This man comes in, he has no ties with any kind of fucking government-based stuff. And when he, like, one of the first things I saw was like a debate, and I was watching it, and it was all of them across the board, like all the Republican and Democrat fucking candidates. So it's like fucking like 6 or 10 people. I don't remember. This was a long time ago.
I remember this actually.
All these motherfuckers
I know exactly
are
what you're
teaming
talking
up
about.
on Trump. And then I was sitting here, I'm like, okay, but why are they teaming up on Trump? Like, why do they want to all team up on him? If they're all on, if he's going for the Republican side, why isn't the Republicans going after the Democrats?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sitting here thinking, like, okay, maybe they don't want some dude that they don't trust or don't know to keep their little fucking secrets and play by their rules to come into power and change things up because they want to keep fucking kids. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he fuck kids either, but yeah, I mean, he could.
I mean,
But you get where my mindset's
I
going
tie them
that.
with Republicans. I assume
Robert
that.
De Niro has gay sex.
He's
God
drinking
damn it.
cum. He's drinking cum.
What
No,
size
but-
women's shoe do you
And
use
on a
to
real,
measure?
but on a real note though, on a real, let's be real. Trump wasn't a bad president compared to some of the fucking dog shit ones we've
Or
had.
yeah, even right now.
And don't see.
Oh, no,
How are you
I
gonna
wasn't-
listen? How are you gonna come at me? Not even really come at me, but you can dig on me, whatever. But like, look at the other. What are the other options, man? What are the other
We
options?
had Bernie Sanders.
You think I'm gonna be with him? Listen, Bernie was never gonna fucking win, bro. Everyone knew that.
But Bernie's been about the same thing for the past
No,
40-something years.
No, this is what I didn't like about him. As soon as he fucking lost against Hillary, and he was up there being like, "She's an evil bitch. This, she eats kids and
Well,
rapes them," and
that's
I'm like,
how-
"Okay."
It's
But
always
as soon
been
as
like
he
that, though.
lost,
That's
who
how
did
it's
he
always.
back?
That's how it always is, though.
Yeah, but
They
I don't
always
like
back.
it.
Well, the way
Hey.
they do it though is that you kind of have like a party head. You know, think of like. I don't need to explain that part.
I mean,
you know
no,
what I'm
I
saying?
get
like,
that there's rules and they gotta do their own little thing.
Yeah, they just
but
kinda-
that doesn't mean I have to like the system.
No, I get it.
You know, like,
I
hey,
absolutely fucking get
Bernie
it.
Sanders is probably a great fucking guy. I don't know him. You know, I'm not vouching for anyone I don't know.
That's fair.
I just know that at the time our choices was Hillary and all that shit I was looking into, and her 30 fucking people, 30 like fucking laundry list of people that she knew that somehow committed suicide.
Yeah.
All of them 100 plus. I'm like, no, there.
Something's wrong.
It doesn't even
My-
make sense. Some of these don't even like that whole Epstein murder.
My
We're still
Metal
not
Gear-
talking about that, and no one cares.
Yeah, true. My
And it's
Metal
just
Gear
crazy.
like cap kind of came on whenever I read that list of really shitty things that Hillary was a part of somehow, and I was like, "There's something here. There's something here. Where are you, Kojima?"
Yeah.
Where-
See,
story for you.
See, but now like I just fall in the middle on like a lot of stuff. Like on the Republican side, I believe in fucking gun rights and stuff like that. I honestly think that everyone should have a concealed carry permit, and I
you
feel like they
probably
should all
have a gun.
carry.
Yeah.
I think that would solve a lot of problems. I mean, yeah, we're probably gonna have people being fucking dumb and probably pulling guns and not, you know what I'm saying, like for the most part, not doing the right shit.
True. But if you have a dude next to you who has gun, you're safe.
and then
You're safe.
someone kicks in a fucking door and is about to shoot up a school. Or well, I guess we probably should figure out a way to make the school thing makes more sense. But
give all
kicks
of the
it-
kids
give the
guns.
give the 5-year-olds guns. But no, okay, kick in the door on a 7-Eleven. The dude's about to rob the place. Okay, Jim Bob in the back got a pistol, blows his head off. Problem solved.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with that. Or is someone trying to shoot up a place and then okay, the guy kicks in the door to go shoot up a fucking church. 5 people are packing.
There's
we
the
got
priest.
the problem solved.
I was,
It's
actually,
like the priest from Machete just
Yeah.
pulls out 2
yeah, the
shotguns.
shotguns. He's like, what did he say in that movie? He was like, "God forgives, but I don't," and then he
Oh,
kills
yeah.
the dude. but then on
I
the
love
other
the
side,
unhinged priest. Fucking,
on the other side of it though, which I can't like get behind with the Republicans, where they're like, abortion shouldn't be allowed. This isn't. I'm like, listen, bitch, you worry about your fucking household. Let other people worry about what choices they make. I'm so sick of that shit. I'm so sick of people being like, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that. Listen, do what you want to do in life, as long as you're not hurting people, hurting yourself to where your loved ones are worried about your
that's
health.
fucking right.
Do what you want, bro, but
Yeah.
don't defringe on other people's happiness to make yourself happy. That's fucked up. And I
Yeah.
think you should catch an ass whooping.
That's
for
why
that.
I'm like, I
Catch a massive ass whooping. Hell yeah.
We're doing the remember Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, where they You know, you've ever seen Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back?
It's been a while.
Turn that bitch on, it's still a banger. Still
It's
hits.
still good.
The very end of the movie, they're like, the whole movie is based around them trying to find the people that are turned down the movie that's getting made about them because people getting on the internet and roasting them. And the movie still gets made, and then they're like, what are we going to do? And then the guy's like, why don't you just go find them and beat the shit out of them? And they're like, and then like the whole last bit of the movie is them going to fucking different houses and being like, are you cum dumpster 65? And it's just like some fucking little kid. He's like, yeah, that's me. And they just start beating the fuck out of him.
The part that always fucking kills me of that movie is when the Jim Carlin, he's like, oh yeah, whenever someone gives you a ride, they're always expecting Roadhead.
Oh, he tries to
and
fuck
so
them up.
yeah, and they
it was
pick
Princess
him up.
Leia.
Yeah.
That is funny as shit.
Oh,
The part that always gets me is the Click Commander part. That always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Every time it's funny. And then he's sitting here, he's like, I want to put my nose in it. That part gets me fucking crying every time. He's like pretending like he's pregnant. He's like hitting the clip with his nose, like he's doing an Alaskan kiss.
That just reminds me.
I die laughing at that one every time.
Have I ever showed you guys like the cringe compilations on YouTube?
You and I used to watch them.
When you said
They were
that,
hilarious, right?
when you said that, I thought of Stone, and I don't know why. That was the first
because I
image
assume
that came
Stone
to me.
watched them too.
Yeah, the very first time I ever like stumbled upon these, I was hanging out with like my friends at. I had a friend named Hyro who we went to his birthday party. He had, like really nice neighborhood, you know, really nice house and stuff. We all kind of huddled in his room and just watched YouTube videos and played video games.
Yeah. Hey,
but it was
sounds like a good time.
It was like 5 o'clock in
100%.
the morning, and we were still up, and we stumbled upon like these cringe compilation videos, and one of them had John Sakers in it. Now, John Sakers he's a vegan. That's pretty much where that has to go because.
Go
Wait.
ahead. I know what he's talking about. I just
Because you just off the segue.
I got thrown off for a minute because it sounded like barking was coming from James.
I keep hearing like these whooping like.
Should we check on James? He's in there with like a fucking belt tied around his neck, and then he's like doing
Spanking
some weird
himself with
shit,
it.
but a dog barking at him.
He's wearing a
He's like
muzzle and
fully
spanking
naked.
himself.
I don't know. He's somewhere involved in that.
But
I wouldn't put it past James. Let's
No,
be
I
honest.
wouldn't.
James just comes out. Hello.
Hey guys, no pants.
We'll update everyone on that too.
Hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of the Click Commander thing because John, the video is probably about like 9 minutes long. This one I'm thinking of specifically, you might have a little bit of trouble finding it, but he spends 5 minutes of this 9-minute video detailing on how he's going to eat out a woman's vagina, and he like.
I couldn't even bring myself to turn something like that.
Everyone
on 'cause
imagine
I would cringe
you have
too
a
hard.
guy who's got a really patchy beard, a really long nose, glasses, and a. He's wearing like
Don't
a.
say a
He's
fucking
no. It's like
fedora,
a
dude,
bandana.
please.
It's a black bandana, like wrapped
and
around the
then
back
That's
of his head.
debatably-
He had his hair tied
Hey,
up in the back.
debatably worse.
He's sitting in this really terribly lit room with a white wall behind him. Camera quality is dog shit, and he's sitting there looking to you in the eye, into the camera lens, talking about how he's going to eat your vagina. And he's
Mine?
spread it yours.
Fuck.
Yours. He's gonna
How do you know I
spread
had a
with his
badussi?
hands. And he talks about be a good girl and what I tell you I have
I
never
would pay money.
I was
to watch
horrified.
You do that. Again.
I was horrified. We were so quiet. We were laughing all the way up until this point, and we just sat there.
It's
in
one of those
pure
things that
terror
it's
and
like-
couldn't turn it off. We sat, all of us like fucking 14-year-olds, couldn't get away from this video. We couldn't get away.
Yeah. And then you're like, and that actually, I took his advice, and it did help me. I agree with it.
No, man.
Yeah, you're like,
no.
a matter of fact, he couldn't have been farther wrong. He said the clit exists, and
It
we know
wasn't
that
even-
doesn't exist.
It wasn't even like it was how like uncomfortable and I'm like detailed and not
How
even,
confident he was in his skills.
It
I'm
was-
going to show you this video before we leave
yeah,
today.
we gotta watch it.
We put like
gotta
a
watch
snippet
it
up
before you
here
guys
so
go, but
at least
yeah.
everyone can see it. But
I completely forgot about that until you
You locked it
literally,
away,
that was
man.
like unlocking a core memory for
Yeah.
me. I remember us
Honestly,
sitting in
this is kind of like when they dug the mummy up. Like, it wasn't a good choice to bring it up.
it was
it was
so-
a bad. You cursed us all.
have you guys ever seen the video of the guy who like was he like kissed his dead aunt's
What?
dead body?
Fuck.
And he's like
Why was he
creating a
doing
video
that?
about her, and he just like actually kisses her on the mouth, and she's like not like freshly dead, like literally.
He let her baste a little bit.
What?
like she's like literally like almost black rotten. Like,
Where the fuck were you on the
Because I
internet?
brought the mummy up.
remember
No,
where I found
I thought you were saying where did it come from? I was like, I think it came up because we talked about the mummy in this.
No,
well,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what made me think about
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I think
Hey.
it was like a cringe compilation.
Hey,
thing
man
or
was
something.
neck
so.
deep on 4chan, boy.
I hope it
That's
was
where
fake.
it came from.
I hope it's fake.
I don't remember. But
Holy shit.
if it's fake, I mean, he had to like
The thing is-
really like
No,
be
I'm
dedicated to
telling
it.
myself it's fake.
Yeah, but honestly, in a way, that's even more sick, like in some aspects, than it
Necrophilia
being
is gross.
real.
Yeah,
Because
Like,
now
you
this
went
man
through
has
all that
taken his
effort.
time out of his day
Well,
to gather a what would look like a blackened
Yeah.
dead body, like molded body, and then he's like, I'm gonna, it would be so funny, guys, if I talked about this is my dead aunt, and then
And
I
I
kissed her,
tongue fuck it.
yeah, and I tongue fucked her body. That would be hilarious. And his friends are like, dude, why are you at the library? We don't even know you. Like, please get away.
are
We're
you?
trying to study.
Police.
Like, you don't even go to the same school as us. Like, who are? I've never seen you before. He's like, oh,
Yeah, dude, it genuinely was like I literally gagged, and it takes a lot for me to like actually react to.
No, it doesn't.
yeah.
I know.
I know you don't got a gag
I know
reflex,
you
my
don't.
boy. Don't even sit here
Yeah.
and lie on the mic.
be right.
No, but dude, it genuinely is one of the worst things I've ever watched. Like
That was
on
one of the worst
YouTube.
things I've ever heard. I
Yeah.
didn't even visually see
bro.
it.
That hit me left field.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember like you and me sitting in my old house, like we had the jam room that also
That was pretty good.
Yeah, and we would just watch like cringe compilations for fucking hours.
And that's the thing too, because that video was so terrible and so uncomfortable that I had to share it with my friends.
But that's how it works. You know what I mean? That's like when I saw Old Boy, I was like, I can't wait.
Old Boy was fantastic.
I can't wait to put the boys on this.
Yeah.
That's
Old
one
Boy
of those
was
things.
really good.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Because you showed me it.
Hey,
That's
you know
why I
what's
have,
fun?
like,
You know what's
a nice
crazy
love
though?
for it.
I still show people, like when I was in the military, I was still showing people that movie, and
It's
it was
good.
like
They never see it coming. They
Yeah.
never see it coming.
It's so good. That's
Oh,
a
have
banger.
you? I sent you a clip on PlayStation, but the most recent, like, kung fu game release called Sifu,
Yeah.
has like a few odes to like the older,
I think I did
martial arts
see
movies.
something that you sent.
and there's a hallway.
There's a hallway scene?
There's a hallway
Yeah.
scene that you get, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Bro.
Damn, I still haven't played it yet, but it just looks so fucking good.
It's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, it's really short, but there's kind of like a twist at the end.
Yeah.
And then you get to play through the whole game again, but really learning how to like perfect those levels.
It reminds me of Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping
kind of like
Dogs,
that.
yeah. it's
Or
kinda like that.
or Jet Li Unleashed. Remember that one?
movie?
No, the game.
The game?
PS2
Yeah,
game.
the game.
Remember that?
I remember the.
It's
I
like
remember
the
that Jet Li
analog
had
stick
it.
controlled which way you punched people.
That's
So, like,
kinda
you move
cool.
forward with this one, and then this is the one you
Yeah.
hit with. You remember that?
I don't, but that sounds pretty cool.
I was playing the fuck out of that as a kid, and I was just so shook. Did I say Jet Li? Right?
Yeah. You
Yeah, I
Jet Li.
said the right
Yeah,
thing then.
You said Jet Li.
It's a banger.
I remember watching the movie, but yeah, I don't remember.
I didn't know
that.
he had a movie called Unleashed. Are you thinking of the one? I feel like you're thinking.
You might be thinking of the
Hey,
one.
Well, because the one is like a newer, like it's like I think in the future, whereas like
Yeah, yeah,
Unleashed. is
Oh,
like-
true.
Oh, it's the one where he has a collar on, and he's
Yeah,
like fighting in a
yeah,
pit.
he's like-
yeah, not
yeah.
that one. That's a good movie. That's a decent movie.
It
though.
could have been a movie game. There was a lot of them came out
Yeah.
during that time
Hey,
period.
Because I'm pretty sure that's the name of
The
movie.
one might not hold up as good as it used to, but that one gets a pass because that is a banger
Yeah.
for sure.
I feel
No.
like you can never go wrong with
the
like
one.
martial arts movies.
Oh, the one.
You remember that one?
I don't think I've seen the one.
Are you serious, bro? You got to watch that shit.
The
It's
Crouching
literally
Tiger, Hidden Dragon, fantastic. No
Oh,
matter how many times I watch it. Although I was never a big fan of like Kill Bill, though I have to say.
The
I gotta
first
be
one?
honest. Kill Bill does not scratch those martial arts.
I can
movie
understand
things
that
in my
because it's
brain.
not really. That's not.
Yeah,
It has
it's a
elements,
Tarantino
but it's
movie
not, I
with
think,
martial arts.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
And it doesn't like some parts are like goofy. Like when she falls down the table and it makes a bowling pin sound like that. It can be a little
Yeah.
goofy,
Yeah.
but it is one of my favorites because like that was like one of the
No,
first.
I definitely respect it.
Yeah,
you know,
it was
as
one of the
being, like,
first
what it
Tarantino
is.
movies I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Plus the
question.
jumpsuit's sick as hell. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. What's your guys' favorite Tarantino movie?
Django Unchained for sure, just because of like where we were when it came out.
Oh yeah.
Because because you can't really appreciate. There's something about being in the theater when you watch a movie for the first time that just like something about that atmosphere where you're at. It changes the way you view it. Like you can't get that every time.
Yeah.
And when we were growing up, we were like, what, 16, 15 when that came out?
Yeah, I
and
think
I
so,
saw it in
around
theaters. And, you know, you watch some Tarantino movies in your house, on the fucking Netflix, whatever, you know, and it's a banger. But when you're first time seeing something like that and it's in the theater and everyone's shutting the fuck up, like everyone's like,
Attention is drawn.
it is. It's like, it was kind of like when I saw a similar viewing experiences when I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Which I mean, it's
Yep.
good. As some it's
Yeah.
good, but you know what I mean. There's some parts you're kind of like, you could have left that out. But I would have never like. You should have seen
That experience. Would never
the
been the same.
experience as soon as those motherfuckers come into his house and the man just smoked the
my
fucking acid dip
God.
cigarette. People were losing their like Logan, and this is at a time where I was in Bangor, so every time we came out of the wire, because we were in there for 2 weeks, when we come out, usually on Friday or Saturday, we'd drive out to Silverdale, we'd park at the movie theater, get our tickets, we'd walk down to B-Dubs, and we'd like eat food and we'd get drunk, and then we'd walk back and go watch the movies. So that's how we did a lot of our movie viewings back then, is we'd do that. And when I tell you, the theater was going insane, son, when this motherfucker walked out with a flamethrower. You like, those are moments you can't have just putting on the fucking TV. You put that on the TV, you go, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But and then even with Endgame, which I mean, Endgame's like whatever, but seeing it with like your boys and they're all
It's
drunk,
fun.
Yeah.
it's
It's
a
fun.
good fucking time.
It is fun. I was like that for when the Dragon Ball Super movie came out, with the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie specifically came out.
Theaters, it was so.
I bet it was banging.
I'm one of those people that when I go to movies, I never want to hear anything. Like, laughter's fine, but I don't want to hear people cheering and clapping.
You
and
go
all
to
that
an
shit.
anime one, you're already getting that.
You
and
always
know it.
expect it, right?
Yeah.
But when I went to Dragon Ball Super Broly, the fact that everyone was so like, I brought my friends that just they liked anime,
Casually.
but they aren't.
Yeah.
They're not Dragon Ball like fucking
Yeah.
dudes. You know what I'm saying? And I brought all of them, and it was myself, Aaron, Hyro, and Eric, and we all sat like right next to each other in a row. I remember distinctly that Aaron sat next to me, Eric sat next to them, and Hyro was way on the end. So we just we were all there just to watch the movie, basically, you know. And the scene where Vegeta turns Super Saiyan God, like
Don't do
the
this.
red one, like the very first, right off the bat. I remember I was so enthralled in like the TV or the screen, excuse me. I saw Hyro come out of out of the corner of my eye doing like this, leaning really far forward,
Bro,
and I was just like,
You
holy
should have
shit.
seen this motherfucker Jesse watching Jitsu Kaisen movie. I was, bro, and it's wild, like, because every time you know we go see a movie, and I'll be just sitting there like,
Matt did the eyebrow raise, by the way.
No. I'll be sitting here. I'm like, is it this good because of, or is it this good because it's a banger? But every time I looked over at Jesse, this motherfucker was like this,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a banger, son.
Yeah, I mean, the whole movie was just, or like not only was the movie like wonderful, like so good just to look at, you know?
Yeah.
The animation was top notch and
Bro.
everything. But the best part is that everyone had the same. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is everyone
same
had the
respect.
same emotion
Yeah.
through the whole movie, you know? And you don't really get that at home because you have the biggest fucking TV in the world, but like just sharing it with
more
46
than,
other
it's
people.
more,
That's
it's
right.
more than a viewing experience. Like, it's more than just a
It becomes
viewing.
more than
It
just
becomes
looking at
an
it.
experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think there are movies or TV shows you should watch by yourself to fully appreciate, but I also feel like in order to really enjoy big anime movies or like blockbusters or whatever, you gotta watch.
You have to see it in the theater.
Yeah, and see it in theaters because, like, I even rewatched the Batman on my TV and it was good, but it's like,
Hold on.
It's not
Hold
like
on.
it's not
When
like
you
the
say
theater.
Yeah. Oh
when
my
you say
God.
its name, you hit the bless up.
oh yeah,
Or out of respect. Bro, my buddy watched that. So I was in school or whatever, and my buddy Hawkins was finally watching it because it was on HBO. I've been hounding. You already know how I get
Yep.
when a fucking banger comes
Yep.
out, and I need my boys to see it.
You really do, though.
I'm relentless.
yeah, literally.
I'm
How have you
relentless.
not seen this yet?
Yeah, no, I gotta put the boys, like, I gotta have my boys watch it, and I also have to talk about it. Like, that's just how I am. And he finally was just like, and he always does this thing where I put him on to something, he'll be like, oh, it's dog shit, like, just to fuck with me. But I know, I'm like, bitch,
I
we
do
like
that
the
too.
same shit.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah, so he did it very early on, but then, like, as soon as I got out of class, he called me. He's like, listen, dude, as soon as the movie started, because I tell people, I'm like, the first 5 to 10 minutes you watch that movie, you know what you're in for.
Hell
Like
yeah.
you know exactly how this is gonna
fucking
go.
gritty,
You know
it's
exactly
dark.
what kind of movie you're in.
Yeah.
And you just gotta get ready because this
wanna see it
bitch
again.
just goes.
Yeah. Oh
I
my God.
want to watch it
I do
again
wanna
too.
see it
I've seen it
again.
3 times and I'm still sitting here like, fuck, it's so good.
I was like that with Into the Spider-Verse when that movie came out.
Don't
it's
stop.
so
I can't even talk about how deeply that movie
It was amazing.
hit me in all the right spots.
It was amazing.
No homo. But,
Nah, bro.
Hold on, I'm back to the Batman.
Sorry,
thing.
yeah.
He calls me and he's just like, I had to get out of the way early. This movie is a fucking banger. And he's like, listen, I would have gave up anything in the world to watch that in the theater with you and blank. It would have been great. But it's like that. Like everyone agrees, like across the board. If you're a movie person, you like entertainment, you find like storytelling, like you get passionate about it. You want to watch it with your boys. You want to talk about it with your boys. And then like sometimes you got to see it in the theater, bro. Because it's just it's
I
different.
agree with that. I was really like during COVID and shit like that. Whenever we were all locked down in our homes for like 6 months, I think one of the biggest things I missed was definitely going to the movie.
Yeah,
You know? And as soon as
that was a rough one for me too.
as soon as they like, because I was never like a really big movie person. Like I'd like going to them. You know, I definitely like the theater and experience like that. But if I had an option of watching a movie and not watching a movie, more often than not would I not choose to. But with that being taken away and then like me getting the chance to go back to it again,
It's something you
it's-
didn't know you
I didn't
needed
know I needed.
until it was gone.
absolutely I didn't know I needed.
I completely agree. Like because for a while there, I was going to movies pretty frequently, and then COVID happened, and I didn't think I would miss it as much as I really did.
We need to
and
go
then-
see The Northman before I forget. We
What are
need
you-
to go see
What are you
that.
doing tomorrow? Me
I
and
do
Sam
not
are
know
gonna
yet.
go see it.
You son of a bitch! You can't wait, to
Dude,
pick-
go
You can't wait to pick that medium-sized hoodie wearing motherfucker over me.
I'm sorry. Damn.
Talk shit
Listen, I'm taking this bullet for you, so he doesn't know what you said. Okay, you're welcome.
Well, now he does. Now he does. Now he does.
You act like I fucking dragged this man through the streets.
Yeah. If there's one thing that I get equal amount of like entertainment and pleasure and enjoyment out of, it's coming up with a good roast. Is like some of the best. Like I literally sent a picture because my buddy Hawkins, we call his brother a roach because he acts like a fucking cockroach. And I'll go into it later. But I literally sent a picture of Jacob's face in a cockroach to Blanket, and I'm like, Blanket, you know what to do. And he cropped his face onto the roach.
I love doing
I
that.
literally let me just show you the
That's
picture
usually
of
like
this.
the highest form of
So
comedy.
you understand.
Cropping people's faces on the things.
I need to show you this picture so you can understand how I was walking, saw it come back, knowing it was going to be like exactly everything I wanted it to be, and I still was like had to take like a knee to laugh. That is comedy gold.
Oh my
That is
God.
comedy gold, bro. I literally was like, sitting there giggling to myself, waiting to use it. I was like, I can't wait to show when it's done.
Dude,
There's
when-
nothing more pleasurable than coming up with a
I
good joke.
still think back to when we were in that moment of you stating James looked like the fucking bell guy from 36 Cowardly Dog.
When I tell you that made my week, it literally I was literally walking around like on a cloud the whole day. I was sitting here like that was so funny. I was like that cracks me up.
Yeah.
But it's not like
shit.
it's like you know what I'm saying. You come up with jokes because you find them funny. That's what's important. If you're making
true.
jokes to make other people laugh, I don't think they're as funny as if you're coming up with jokes that make you laugh, and they just so happen to make the people around you
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
They're
a
so
lot of like in jokes with like I know people don't know like a reference and I'll go and I'll say it just to make myself laugh.
I don't even know if I want to bring this up. No, I'll talk about it after. Never mind.
Kind of worried to see what it is.
No, it's just
That's
like
making me nervous.
it's something that people were involved that I don't know if they'd want me putting that kind of business out there.
All right,
So
fair.
that's why it's
I get it.
personal stuff. But it was funny because it was one of those moments where, like you said, you hear like an inside joke, and then you kind of like you hear it and you go like, "Bitch, I know what that means."
I know what that means.
I'm gonna trinkle it in to see if you guys understand the reference. But you ever heard of furry creatures? And then you know exactly what I'm talking about, Trevon.
No, I don't.
Don't
I don't.
really?
No, I don't.
Okay, I
He's
believe
giving
you.
me a look.
I'll tell you what it's of, and I'll
Okay.
tell you how it played into this conversation where I just like broke my neck, and I was like, "You really thought you were gonna say that in this room, and I wouldn't know what the fuck you were talking about, bitch." And it's just one of those things that it's like funny as shit when you like one of those moments kind of happen.
True. I have a friend, or one of my other best friends. His name is Aaron, and Aaron has a very distinct
never
way of
met him.
talking. You know, it's really like nasally and kind of raspy. You know,
What's his last name?
why would I say that here? You're not trying to
I
trap
was
me.
trying to bait you into it.
What was that?
Do it.
But he's got a really distinct way of talking, and anytime I'm telling a story involving Aaron and I always kick on that voice like without thinking about it.
Yeah, you did
And
it when we were
someone-
dry. When I was taking you back, you did it
And
when you were
someone just
talking
like
about
looks
the,
at me,
the
and I'm like,
workout mirror.
well, to explain, you know, here's all the other stuff, because otherwise it just seems like I'm making fun of him, but I promise I'm not.
Hey, we all like
it was.
Aaron. I think we all never really had a bad experience with Aaron, really.
Yeah,
huh?
no,
Well, I mean, it's been years since I've seen him, but I remember him
Yeah,
being
yeah.
a pretty fucking cool
He
dude.
randomly invited me. He invited like me, Joey Meany, Carly,
My boy Joey. Hey, bless up.
Sam, and I like barely knew Sam at this point, and
Even though
like,
you guys were living together, I agree.
yeah, well,
No.
it was like us and like 3 or 4 other people.
Was it like a party or something?
Yeah, it was
I
for
think
Aaron's
that's probably
birthday.
it. Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
But like, I
Remember
had barely talked to Aaron. Like,
Yeah, but you know what? I respect that for someone to, because you know how you are when you like lose connection with someone, and then you because I do that all the time, like with people, because I've been gone so long, and I haven't talked to a lot, because you don't think about talking to people when you're just fucking going and going. You got a
you
bunch
know?
of shit in
Life
going
kinda
on.
gets in the way,
But I can
you know?
respect the fuck out of someone who's like, okay, no, I'm gonna break down that barrier where it's like weird, kind of like it feels kind of weird.
We're just gonna
because
do
you're-
something.
Yeah, we're gonna go do
just
something,
go
and
do
I
something.
respect that, because like that is a hard motherfucker to get over, man. Like
yeah.
sometimes you'll be sitting here like, I don't want them to think like I'm trying to fuck them or something. Like, not saying like the Aaron thing, but like
I was gonna
you're
say.
trying to reconnect with like a friend that you were friends with, like a female, because
Yeah.
half the time when someone hits up a female,
Yeah.
social media wise, that are like, let me smell your feet, and then they say nothing, and they're like, you're a fucking whore. So like you got to be careful how you, because
Bob's
get
and
chalked up
vagina.
into that fucking stigma because you're a dude, and it's just the way it happens. Sometimes, often
yeah.
more than not, it isn't a conversation that's purely based around just wondering how someone's doing, and it can be taken that way, especially when nowadays with how all this like Me Too stuff's going on. You got to be real careful, and you got to make sure you don't step over lines for sure
Yeah.
to make people
That's fair.
uncomfortable.
Well,
That's
I
fair.
think it's also like on that point. It's also like, you know, it's fine to like flirt, but to do
You
it
have
to
to
like
know. You have to know where the fucking line is.
Yeah.
I think in
Also-
order to accurately flirt with anyone, you have to be able to read the room.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Cody,
Reading the room
Cody,
is so important.
Cody, you cannot read the room. Don't do it. No, I'm
Please
just kidding.
don't.
Well,
Cody, I'm
it's also
fucking
like
with you.
99% of the time, like if you just send a random message to a girl, they're not going to go and be like, "Oh my god," they're going to be like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
But if you're just like, "Oh yeah, you know, like I thought, you know, this was cute or whatever,"
Yeah.
you're probably going to get shot down. But
Yeah,
there's
you-
no
you
problem with
gotta-
shooting your
like,
shot.
And then sometimes I was even sitting here and I saw some female on my snap talking about like home owning kind of thing, and I don't even want to do anything. Like I wasn't even in the mindset or trying to flirt, but I was like, but the way I set my sentence up fixed that. I was like, hey, real quick, I have a question. Talking about owning homes, yada yada yada. Not if it's too personal, but how much money are you looking at saving up before you look for a home, kind of thing. So you got to know how to word a sentence before you drop it off, just so
Always, yeah.
you know, just to be careful, man. Like
Verbiage
nowadays
is
you
definitely
gotta,
important, too.
and then I like honestly, me personally, I don't even hit on people really now. Like I'm more of a like
come to me.
show if you're interested, show me, because I don't want to even put people in a situation where they could feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
True.
Because there's nothing worse than putting someone in a position where they feel uncomfortable, but then you're walking away and you're like, fuck, I just like made that person uncomfortable. Now you're in your head about that all fucking day,
All
bro.
day.
You're thinking about it, you're
I
like,
hope they
God,
didn't
I'm
think I was
fucking
Oh my god,
You're
like
so
when
weird.
people flirt with like waitresses or bartenders.
Oh yeah, that's
That
a
makes me
no-go.
so mad.
That's a fucking no-go right off the rip.
Leave her alone, bro. She's trying
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah, like
Just
I
leave her
promise you,
alone.
no bartender is sitting here being like, "Oh, out of all the 500 people that have come through here and ordered drinks, that
This is
guy
the
look
one."
at saying my ass look nice, a fucking 100th dude to say my ass look nice. That one guy, there was something about him. No fucking woman's doing
Even
that.
if I might get
Yeah.
like the inkling that she might be interested, I'm like, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah,
to.
because
it's
it's
like
just
if
like-
I'm wrong, I'm gonna come off as a fucking
Yeah.
creep.
I look like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what's your Snapchat? What's your blah, blah. It's like, no, there's no point.
You just gotta be careful how you do things, and you gotta know where the fucking line is.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you don't be hitting on waitresses, people that work. Like, don't hit on people when they're at their work. That is what I think is like just a pretty sure like golden rule, right from the rib.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've been going on for a good minute.
How long is it?
It's 6:15 now.
No, how long has it been?
I was trying to read the recording earlier, but I don't think it has like a.
I don't know if that's
If
accurate,
it is
'cause
more than 2 hours, we're splitting this up into two of them. We're not giving them extra. We're not giving them extra stuff.
Well, according to this, it'd be 212 minutes. I don't think that's right because that would be.
That's like almost 3 hours.
Yeah, that's why
Maybe
I don't
more.
think that's right.
What is it exactly?
No, it's more than 3.
Oh, okay.
180 minutes would be.
Yeah, I can't do math.
That's why
so.
I don't think that's right. So,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking that we've probably been talking for a good like hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half maybe.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't enjoy it either, so we could probably
yeah,
just end
yeah.
it.